And good morning. We're back, as always. Money Monday at Parx, terrific Tuesday at Parx. We'll have delightful Delaware on Wednesday for Hump Day in Hollywood Hay. And not quite sure what we're going to do Thursday because Aqueduct is not running Thursday, so we'll pick something between here and there. We'll let you know by following along on our social sites down there below. Wow, Terry, we have to start off with the Preakness run. Do you feel like journalism should have been disqualified?
No, not really. I mean, he did bully his way through, but
Yeah, I think he should have been disqualified.
do you? Well, the only reason I don't is because it was my favorite horse. So.
Yeah, no, he wholeheartedly should have been disqualified.
Yeah.
I don't think there should have even been a second thought about it, to be honest with you. Hello, Private Ross. What are your thoughts, folks, from Detroit? Coast to coast. You could see he tried to bully his way through. The jockey got so pissed off on the one that he slammed his horse into the two to tell him cut it out. Unquestionably, journalism should have been disqualified, but they settled that real quick. It was an impressive run, though, the run down that 9 horse with so little space.
Yeah.
Had a lot of horse to go, but Umberto, you got to put him in a spot to win. You just can't knock your way through there. Good morning, Don Johnson. What's your thought about that? Should journalism been disqualified? I am 1,000% yes. If Maximum, what was that horse's name? Maximum Security, was that his name?
Something like that.
Yes, if he got disqualified in the Kentucky Derby, clearly he should have been Mayfield, Kentucky. Jonathan Simpkins, hello from Mayfield, Kentucky. Hey, hope your eyes are all good down there. I read there was some pretty wild weather in Kentucky over the weekend, so hopefully yours and all that you know are safe in Mayfield and beyond. All right, Terry, real quick before we get cooking today, free picks today at Finger Lakes, one of the most beautiful parts of the country. You can get them over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description below right there. Just click on that, and you'll see at Finger Lakes all the good stuff today that comes at no cost. Of course, when the show is over, head over to horseracingtoday.net. We have some error up there I can't figure out how to get rid of. Maybe somebody out there with some WordPress experience can help me. ChatGPT was sort of helpful. And then while you're here, hit the HRT gear button. Click on that. You got 20% off of everything to help support the show. That ends today, folks. Hopefully we can win a little bit to help pay for all of that. Terry, what are the conditions for the first race today?
Okay, it's 6.5 furlongs. It's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $21,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
Yes, and if you want to win that third race, the best way to find your way in the winner's circle at 6.5 furlongs, we have a whole host of these 6.5. I think half the card, maybe more, is going to be 6.5 furlongs. So early speed, it does okay. You want to be middle forward. Stalkers usually being in that second, third, or fourth position is the best place to be. Still, the horse that leads at the quarter-mile marker wins 31% of the time. The inside posts are better than outside posts. We do 1,000 simulations, Terry. Get a chance to see who's got the best chance to get to the lead. And interestingly, Pimlico for the Preakness was fast. And a whole lot of horses that ranked at the top, Terry, guess where they finished?
At the top.
They finished in the winner's circle, yes, indeed. So if anyone's going to do that today, who might that be?
Well, it'll be the 7 in this race, as you can see, has almost double the speed data that anybody else has in there, or any other horse.
Yeah, it does look like he has a pretty aggressive early pace edge. You see that over here, too. Terry, we also want to know which horses have a best chance, or at least have already hit par. That is the average winning speed figure for horses at this level at the Ben Salem track. Looks like a whole lot of them can make that claim.
Yeah, all of them, but 2 is a maybe. But the 2 got within 2 points of doing that last race. And then today, all but the 4 and 6 have some kind of a chance. The 7 has the best chance according to the data.
Yes, and we're finding that almost all the horses that win have some improvement. I mean, everybody in this race has shown either pace improvement. Only 4 of them showing some fractional improvement. Everybody else, everybody's staying at the same level as the last time out, except for the 6, moving up in class there, Terry. We're here in our race review. We see 3 horses that want to lead, 1 horse in the middle. That's that 7 horse. And then 3 that want to close. So it's a balanced race. Out of this balanced race, Terry, we have what's called comfort zone, where we measure how likely this race will match up with their best performances. Who's likely to get a trip today that looks a lot like when they've won in the past?
Well, the 5 and the 6, with the 6 having the most highest percentage. They should have a very comfortable time in this race today.
Speaking of comfort, Terry, who's going to have who are you most comfortable backing, either from a jockey or trainer standpoint?
The jockey, the 5 shows the best, 7 shows the best trainer, but I think the 7 is the best jockey trainer combination.
Yeah, the 7 also tops our top total pace list. Another place where, again, on the weekend at Pimlico, over and over and over and over, the winners were found in the top 4 total pace. Bunch of them in the simulation odds as well. 7's your sim favorite. He's got every 5 points equals 1 length. He's got more than a 2-length total pace advantage. Terry, is anybody going to beat Everhart in the opener?
I don't think so. I like Everhart. She's finished 3rd versus similar last race. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. She has a high percentage winning trainer. If anybody does beat her, it's probably the 1, You're Forever. She stumbled badly at the start, running 4th in her last race at Parx Racing. The Rail Post win at an 18% clip. She has a high percentage winning jockey. And then the 6, Married Show, my 3rd choice, finished 3rd versus similar last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer, and this trainer wins 28% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route to a sprint. And then my long shot is number 3, Sunny Side Up. She ran 2nd versus similar in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. No additional bets for me here.
Everhart has all those boxes checked. That 2-length total pace. It's a Sesame Street horse. It's the only one in between the speed and the closers. They tend to do well. The 1 horse, You're Forever. All of the race internals were better across the board. Does ride a strong rail. The 6 horse, Mary Chill, top C-zone horse, closer. That should not be all that far off the pace here. You can see in the early speed, not too far. All these are kind of jumbled up together. And then finally, the 5 horse, That's My Long Shot. It was a tough call over your 3, Terry, but I'm going to take better odds. We got just a few minutes to do race number 2 at 6.5 furlongs, so we know the profile of a winner, Terry. What we need to know is the conditions to get into this one.
Was a 6.5 furlongs claiming race, $5,000 claiming price, $18,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since November 19th.
Listen, to get another win for the first time in 2025. Again, speed. Be forward, be inside, better than outside. Real quick, Terry, let's highlight just a couple of things. Looks like another one here that's going to get out to the front and be tough to catch.
Yeah, again, the number 7 horse has a lot of speed, should get out to the front.
Yeah, but you see the C-zone a little on the light side. I don't want to see one of the patterns I see emerging is a horse that has this kind of early speed advantage, but a strong C-zone number. Terry, it does look like we have a 5 horse here with a big late speed advantage, and really only 1 horse here with a comfort zone over 50%.
Yeah, that's that 2 horse, shows 77%, almost 78.
Our top 4 includes the 2, the 1, the 4, and the 5. Terry, who are your top 4 in round 2 today?
Okay, I like the 1, Float On. He ran 2nd versus similar his last race. His best start speed is fast among today's starters. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Hidden Promise, the 4, ran 2nd versus similar in his last race. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and likes the distance. And then I like the 2 as my 3rd choice, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. G-Bert, the 5 is my long shot, ran 2nd versus similar in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to bet the very first Miami Vice, Don Johnson, pick 4, 1, 2, 4, 5 with 1, 2, 3, 5 with the 4, 6. Finish up with 3, 4, 5, $48 ticket.
Yes, indeed. Don Johnson. You recommended that we stick with the pick 4s. That's why we call him the Miami Vice, Don Johnson pick 4s. If you have some recommendations you feel would make the show better, hey, let us know in the comments section. Tell us where you're from as well. If you have any picks today that you like anywhere in the world, be it sports, be it horse racing, there's a stock you like, a bond you like, an option trade, let us know. I like the 1 horse in here as well, Float On. It's been off since January the 8th. Does have some decent workouts. It's our simulation favorite. I think this race is a little open. Hidden Promise showed faster fractions last time out at 7 furlongs versus 6 furlongs in the prior start, and now cutting back to 6.5 furlongs. So a whole lot of moving around in distance there. G-Bert, the 5 horse, a very consistent performer in this field. Terry will be closing at the end and does have that biggest in-race advantage of 2.5 lengths. And then finally, I'm going to go with the 2 horse, Brindisi, top total pace horse, and by far the best C-zone. 1, 2, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 4, 6, and then 2, 3, 4, and 5 to close out my $48 Don Johnson pick 4. Race number 1. Looks like they're all about ready to go. you're looking for some value in race number 1, Terry. It looks like the 1 horse. Well, that's the wrong race, so maybe no value there. The 1 horse, no, the 2 horse. The 2 horse is where the value is, Terry. Right there, bam, 7-1 versus 12-1. The 7 horse right now is 3-5, 6-5, and they're about ready to run the opener. So let's see what happens.
Okay.
Maybe they're going to run the opener. They're in the gates. They look like they're waiting for like the 3 or the 4 to settle. And they're off and racing according to Jessica Paquette in the opener for this week in May. The 1 horse has jumped out there, Terry, with looks like the 2 horse, with the 7 horse giving chase there. So the 1, the 2, they're in our early mix here. The 7 didn't get the lead, so that could be detrimental to its fortunes, because we've seen many times horses that want the lead that don't get the lead unless the fractions are too fast, kind of fight it on the way home. As they head down the stretch, the 1 horse has continued to hold the lead. The 7 has moved along into the shotgun position. The 3 horse, he's look like he might be moving the best at all. It's 7-2. Comes the 2 horse, on the outside, the 6 horse. That long shot 5, he ain't going to do nothing. Looks like it's going to be the 3 horse right about now, Terry. Maybe. Yeah, he's going to pull away from the pack here. So sunny side up. Going to be the sunny side winner, it looks like, in the opener, although you got somebody else coming up here on the outside. The 6 horse is trying to find room. He's going to wiggle his way around. The 4 horse is coming pretty hard. The 2 horse on the rail. So it's going to be the 6, it looks like, Terry.
Wow.
It's going to go 6. It's an interesting day there, Terry.
Yeah.
Because ordinarily you don't see closers do that well. 6, 3, 4, and then 2. 6, 3, 4, and 2. The 6 horse going off at 7-1. And according to our numbers here, 7-1 looks like a pretty good deal. But they get that good jockey combination. There, once again, the 6 horse in your top 4 total pace horses as well. And down here, look where he is ranked again, Terry. Number 1 in comfort zone. And he turned out to have the most comfortable trip of all today.
He did, yeah.
This is another combination that I'm finding works pretty well, too, is when a horse has a high comfort zone relative to the rest of the field and scores highly in the top total pace, those horses tend to perform, too. I'm trying to find, like, different combinations that might be, clues to which horses are going to get good trips today. All right, race number 3 is next on our itinerary. What's it all about?
Okay, it's a 6.5 furlongs claiming race, $5,000 claiming price. Purse is $18,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since 19th of November.
The 19th of November at 6.5 furlongs, first 3 races, that may be the first 4, I don't even remember, but a bunch of the 6.5 furlongs, usually in favor of stalkers. That race there, all the closers came up. The fractions weren't all that hot, so perhaps the speed is going to fade today and closers are going to make their way, Terry. It has been speed, but since we saw closers win in the opener, let's focus on who's going to close in race number 3.
Well, yeah, it looks like to me that 2's going to have a good chance to close there. So it's got a pretty, what is that, 12
point gap, yeah, so about 2.5 lengths.
2.5 lengths, yeah.
So if late speed holds out, man, that's the guy right there, no?
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
Also, our simulation favorite with the 2, Wizard Surat, down here, Terry. There's really no true front runner. The 4 horse in there, Semper Fidelis, could get to the lead, but sure looks like, maybe the 1 or the 4. Is that where you see the competition coming?
Yeah, they could go head-to-head out at starting gate. Depends on their break.
Yeah, it looks like the 3 will be a part of that mix as well. Everybody but the 6, Terry. Sugar Gray Leonard. He's a no. All of them are yes. Which one's the most likely to yes it again today?
Well, it appears to me that the 2 horse has a really good chance to either equal or exceed the par speed number for today. That's right.
Which is 82. So par plus, we take 1,000 simulations. We simulate an expected speed figure. And in 494 out of 1,000 races, that's where 49.4% comes from. Glad to see that Excel works. The 2-horse, Wizard Surratt, did run a speed figure of 82 or better. Let's take a look down here at the race shape. Pretty balanced in there, Terry. On our speed chart, here we see the 4 has the most upside, also has the most downside, so it can throw a stinker in there. The red dot is their average race, but what I'm finding is to pay attention to the top line because that shows you the horse's potential. In your view, Terry, which horse has the most potential in round 3 today?
Well, I like the 3, My Devil's Child. He ran second versus similar in his last race. Parx Racing has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and likes the distance. Then I like the 2, Wizard Surratt. Finished third versus similar in his last race. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He's actually tied with another horse, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. Wins 21% of the claiming races he has a horse running in. Harley's Charlie is the 5. Is my third choice. Finished third versus similar in his last race at Parx Racing. Has a high percentage winning trainer. And then I like as my long shot, Golden Wildcat, the 1. He was only beaten a length and a half versus similar in his last start. The rail post is winning at an 18% clip, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. No additional bets here for me.
I like the 2-horse, Wizard Surratt, as my top choice. That one. He's got a weight break today. Kind of hangs a little bit late, but today won't because he's got the biggest in-race advantage of 12-point speed figure or late speed figure edge, so 2.5 lengths late speed. And hell, if it runs much like race number 1 did, it should blow by them all at the end. Golden Wildcat, the 1-horse, pace setter on the rail, 10-pound weight break if speed holds. Number 5, Harley's Charlie. That one at 3-1 morning line should be better in the classic third start after a layoff. And then the 3-horse, My Devil's Child. That one ran a Z pattern last time out. Just to look at a Z pattern again, you see here, the early pace was 87, took a breather in the middle at 80, and then picked it back up with a second wind. That's your Z pattern. And then not only did it run that Z pattern, but you look here as well, it had better early pace and better late pace to boot. So I don't know what you call that. You call that turbocharged Z pattern, Terry? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good term for it.
Yes, we'll call it a Turbo Z, baby. Kind of like those Datsuns. Didn't they have like a Turbo Datsun Z28 or something back in the 1980s? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a Datsun F10, about the ugliest car you could have, but it was very practical. A lot of good gas mileage, a station wagon, and allowed for me to, my friends to go all over the country, which was pretty good.
Yep.
Race 4 is what we'll do next. Terry, as usual, you will fill us in on the details of how one gets into this race.
Well, it's a 6.5 furlong race, $5,000 claiming race, purse $18,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since the 19th of November.
You think they just put, sounding like they put out this these conditions in the condition book, and like every horse in Pennsylvania wanted in. You got 4 of them in a row, right? They're basically the same thing.
Right.
All right. So again, usually speed, middle forward wins, inside post positions do better than outside posts. We did not see that in the first race, but if we see it in the 4th race, Terry, any inside speed to think of?
No, we're not really. Well, except the 1 has some, but the 5 has the most speed. So
yes, and in this race, we only have 3. Hello, Jose. How are you today? From Venezuela, if I recall correctly. We have 3, Terry, that have already shown that 82 is not a problem. Who are they?
Yeah, it's the 1, 4, and 6 all showed that in the past they equaled or exceeded the speed plus number, and there's a couple of maybes in there, the 2 and the 5. And as far as today, the horse that has the best chance is that 4 horse, followed up by the 6.
What's interesting about the 4 horse is the only horse dropping in class. That's the red arrow there. No improvement last time out. So that's a little bit of a concern considering just had 9 out of 10 horses that win usually, at least in my reviews. I haven't reviewed every race, but hundreds of them so far. Close to 9 out of 10. Showed some improvement last time out. But Fast Bob also, Terry, looks like a good overlay potentially.
It sure does. If you take a look, they're 3 to 5. Morning line or simulated odds, and the 3 to 1 is morning line. So hopefully it gets there.
Yeah, a little bit of an overlay with the 5 horse, 2 full contact. Otherwise, the 4 Fast Bob sucked up all the oxygen in the room. Also, our simulation favorite there pretty heavily over everybody else. Does have that 5-point late speed edge, 1 length. So if that closing rows continue to hold up today. We have 2 horses that want to be on the lead, the 1 and the 5. According to our simulations, those 2 should be out on the front. Everybody else wants to close. Between the 1 and the 5, Terry, which one looks like they're more likely to enjoy being on the lead today?
Well, it looks like the 7 is the 5 has the most chance of being very comfortable, followed up by that 1 and 6.
So when you see 50% or more, that's what we're looking for. But you do have a pretty good gap between the 5 and everybody else. So if the 5 does get that lead, could be very dangerous out in the front. Terry, is the 5 going to get a good ride, or would you look for somewhere else if you wanted the jockey trainer stuff?
Well, I think the 6 has the best jockey and trainer, so it's the best combination for this race.
6 also your top total pace horse, along with the 4, 7, and 2 to round out the top 4. Speed, Terry, or a closer? Who do you got in race number 4?
Well, I like the 6 Musical Heart. He's won 2 races out of the last 3 starts, has the highest last speed rating, and his best start speed is fast among today's starters. And then I like that 4, Fast Bob. Likes Parx Racing, been in the money 51% of the races here. He won 14% of the starts. He likes the distance. He's been in the money 75% of the time, winning 25% of those starts. And then the 1, Mastermind, third choice, has a high percentage winning trainer. The Rail Post is winning at an 18% clip. I like as my long shot number 2, Midas, Modern Midas. He has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to bet the 2nd pick for Miami Vice, Don Johnson. Pick 4, it's the 4-6 with the 1-3-4-5 with the 1-5-6-7 and finish up with a 3-5-6 $48 ticket.
I'm going to begin also with the 4 horse, Fast Bob, because every Bob I ever knew was fast. Not really, but it is your simulation favorite, so I'm pleased with that. That's that 3 to 5 guy up there. He's also the only class dropper versus everybody else, but it's not a big class drop, about a head. That's about it. It does have that 1 length late speed advantage. I'm feeling a little bit better about that after the opener there. Number 1, Mastermind, got a good shot to be up on the lead, Terry, and quite frankly, in this race, as you go through the past performances, there's really not a lot of speed in here, and we see that. So everybody else wants to close. So I think the 1 or the 5, one of them is going to get to the front and have a really good shot to stay there. Number 6, Musical Heart, is a yes horse in this race, Terry. That is the top total pace horse at Parx 6 times out, but this is another one that likes to give it up late, it looks like. No wins, 1 second and 4 thirds. And then finally, Full Contact was a tough call for me over the 7. Big Brown Shoes, but as I mentioned, there's not a lot of speed in this race. The 1 or the 5 is going to get out to the front. And if they have any chance of speed going wire to wire, it will be one of those 2 because everybody else wants to close. Race 5 marks the end of the first half of this 10-race card today, Terry. Let's talk about what the conditions are for the 5th spot today.
Well, we're going to stretch out to a mile, and it's a maiden claiming race, $10,000 claiming price, purse $19,000 for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
Yes, and as you can see, the mile race here at Ben Salem is 1 trip around the track. So you begin and you start in the same place. And what does that mean? That means you better have some early speed here, Terry, as 34% of the horses that get the call at the opening quarter mile marker get the call at the mile marker as well. The rail, a little bit of discount for Texas Air Force. 2 through 7, they outperform. 8 and out is almost fair. So really, it looks like the rail for Texas Air Force is really the only difficult position to overcome. Terry, which horses in here, if you're going to get to the lead, are the ones you want to focus on, especially on the outside?
Yeah, there's several of them actually, but the 7 shows the most. But, I think it's just depends on who gets the best break. And so it's an anyone's guess race, I think.
Yeah, I agree, because if you look at their pace numbers, it's the same 4 horses. They're all tightly packed. So I would probably give the edge to the horses on the inside, maybe the 3, the 4, maybe the 6 or 7. On the outside, got to go wide through that turn. Can be a dangerous position to be. You don't want to be wide through the first turns. Foil is the only class dropper in here, Terry, and none of them so far have shown that they can hit a speed figure of 71. A few have come close, however.
Yeah, the 1 and the 3 have actually came within 5 points of doing that. And then for today's race, the 4 and the 5 have the best chance of equaling or exceeding the speed rating.
Yes, indeed. So if we tossed out the horse without any improvement, that would be the 2-horse Foil. So the only class dropper in there, Terry. Our race shape. Well, for the first time today, we see the 2, 6, and 7 in the NC column. That means they've not been within 5 lengths of the leaders. The 1, the 3, and the 5, they want to close. The 4-horse in here, Terry, the only one that's shown any ability to get forward. So maybe the 4 takes the lead. If you're worried about which horse today might get the best trip to give it a shot to win, 2 of them over 50%.
Yeah, the 4 and the 7 both are over 50%. That 50% is the mark that we think a horse should be over to really think it's a good C-zone number.
The 4 also grades out here as the second best choice according to our simulation odds, along with the 2, the 3, and the 5. Does make our top 4 total pace horses in here, but the horse with the biggest in-race advantage, Terry, is that 2-horse Foil. It is a closer, does have a 1.5 length late speed over everybody else. Terry, who has the advantage over everybody else as far as your picks are concerned?
Well, in this race, I like the 4, Peace Crusader. He finished in the money in his last 3 starts, finishing third versus Similar in his last race at Parx Racing. Has a second best prime power number of 103.1. And then I like the 5, Max Forward Speed, finished third versus Similar in his last race, has the highest last speed rating. Number 3, Sir Rob Roy is my third choice. His best dirt speed is fast among today's starters. Has a trainer, wins 18% of the races. He has a horse running in their first race route. And then number 1, Texas Air Force is my long shot. He may improve by returning to a route. Has a trainer who wins 18% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route. No additional bets for me here.
I'm going to begin with the 4, Peace Crusader. Yes, indeed, we all can use a Peace Crusader in our in the politics, I would guess. We haven't seen many of those lately, so hopefully we see one make some peace around the world. And we have a best bet today too coming up from our good friend Private Ross. We haven't seen him do that too often. Terry, you recall Private Ross putting out a best bet before?
Not usually. Once in a while I see him do it, but not always.
Yes, indeed. Best bet today. What's your best bet race number today, Terry?
And it's in the 9th race.
Race number 9 will mark Terry's best bet, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. We're not all that far away from race number 9, so keep an eye out for Terry's best bet coming up. I'm going to go with that Peace Crusader, the 5-horse Max Forward Speed as my top choice in there. Simulation favorite, going to be better in the second race after a layoff. Then the 3-horse Sir Rob Roy is your top total pace, most consistent performer in the field. Number 4, Peace Crusader. The horse was better across the board with all of its pace numbers last time out and is our top C-zone horse. And then Foil, that 2-horse, the one without any improvement, may not win, but it could finish in the money in there. Is the only class dropper. Biggest class dropper, 2.5 lengths. Upside in just 3 races so far, so 4 start. You don't know what this horse can bring to the table. And it does have the biggest in-race edge with that 1.5 length late speed edge. Race 6 marks the second half of the card. Terry, getting closer to your best bet. So let's start round 2 for the day today.
All right, 6.5 furlongs, claiming race, $15,000 claiming price, and it's the first 28,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since February 19th. Claiming races for 12,005 or less are not considered, of which have never won 4 races.
So this is what, the 5th out of 6 races. That's 6.5 furlongs. In the opener, the horse that won was a closer, but typically the bias at Parx favors speed on the inside. You still get usually about 31%. So in Pennsylvania, that would be Wilbert Montgomery. Probably the best 31 in Philadelphia Eagles history, unless I'm missing something. I'm sure an Eagles fan will correct me if they are watching. But heck, only people in Philadelphia like the Eagles. Everybody else hates them. All right, Terry, for the 6th race, who's got the best chance to pull the cart when the gates open?
Well, it appears to me the 5 does, but there are a couple other horses that are pretty close. They could also be there. So,
yeah, and they all look like getting to par is not going to be a problem today.
That's
they
right.
all look like getting to par again is not going to be a problem, except maybe Eagle Man in there, Terry. The 1 horse, not any improvement last time. Everybody but the 2 It's dropping in class in here, Terry. We see that this race is kind of balanced, a little bit more weighted towards the back. So early speed could get the way to the winner's circle. Looks like it's pretty competitive, Terry, in a couple of ways. If you're looking at C-Zone, who would you look at? And if you're looking at jockey trainers, who would you look at?
Well, on the C zones, look at that 2 and 6. They have identical numbers as far as that, and so they're going to be very comfortable running in this race. And then as far as the jockey goes, the 7 shows the best jockey. I think the 1 shows the best trainer, but the 7 to me is the best jockey trainer combination.
Any of them show great value?
Yeah, the 1 has a nice value, 2 to 1 to 6 to 1, and the 4 has a value from 7 to 1 to 10 to 1.
And then over here, the 5, the 7, the 1, and the 3 are your top total pace horses. Really no big edges in this race anywhere. So a lot of similar horses. Down here, if we're looking to see, the most upside belongs to the 5, and its average race, Terry, that's the red dot right there. Its average race is pretty well ahead of everybody else's average race. So if they all just run their typical race, it looks like Enforcer would be the one to beat. Terry, what do you think in race number 6?
I agree with that. I agree that the 5 Enforcer will win this race. He drops in class today, finishing the money in 4 races out of the last 6 starts, and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then the 7, Keith Sens Shalou.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, hello.
Keith Sens hello.
Yeah,
Like an echo.
Yeah. Anyway, he's my second choice. He won his last race. He has the highest last speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Omaha 8, the 1 is my third choice, finished the money in 5 races out of last 7 starts. Won 3 of those, has a high percentage winning trainer. And then 6 is my long shot. First money, he likes Parx racing, been in the money 50% of the time, and he's won 29% of the starts. At today's distance, he's been in the money 100% of the time, won 50% of the starts. No additional bets for me here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Keith Sens hello because he popped in his last race. And in popping, he tends to pair peak races. So if you look, this is one of these things in Mark Kramer's book about cycles and stuff like that. So you look for horses that run cycles. So you can see here the horse kind of settled down, and here, boom, right? And then popped, bang. And then when he popped, it wasn't a one and done. So it's pretty consistent, right? Fairly consistent, falls off, pops. Pretty consistent, falls off, pops. So I'd expect another pop, or what do you call it? Snap, crackle, and pop. Rice Krispie. So we should start calling those Rice Krispie horses, Terry. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I mean, we got to give them all names. Plus the move to Michael Sanchez, the top jockey in the circuit there, that's got to be a tell that trainer Felix Flores Coba expects his horse to pop again today. All right. Next up for me is number 5, your top selection. That one is Enforcer. I like Enforcer in the second spot because he performs consistently at a level that will require mostly the best, if we saw that in our chart here. For everybody else to beat his average race, they'll have to be at the upper end of their abilities. Omaha 8. Yes, Peyton Manning right up in there. He would say Omaha 8 times before they would snap the ball. He's dropping a length in class into a level where he last ran and won. And then finally, Eagle Man, that 2 horse at 10 to 1, Terry up front, was by far the most Parx back class. So it was interesting looking at it in the Brisnet, and they don't pay us anything, and by golly, they should. But you look here at Parx, he's hit a speed figure of as high as 109. It may have been 20 years ago because he's an 8-year-old, but if that's in there and that shows back up again, that could be an easy win for Eagle Man. How long do we have to race number 2, Terry?
About 3 minutes.
That's good because that means we can get started with race number 7, which begins the late pick 4. So let's blast through race number 7, Terry.
All right. So in 7th race, at 6 furlongs, claiming $15,000 claim price, purse $28,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since February 19th, claiming races for $12,000 or 5 not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
Yes, early speed, 31%, wire to wire. Sue Ellen Michigan takes advantage of the rail position, which is the best. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7, they get hit hard. 8 and out is almost fair, Terry. So, man, if you got some speed on the rail in race number 7, you got a good shot. And in race number 7, where do we find the horse with the most giddy up and go?
Well, as you can see there, the 1 horse on the rail has the most speed, although there's a couple others might have something to say about it. But that one should get out of there and get that quarter pole first.
Yeah, he has an 8-point pace advantage, so that's a 1.5 length early speed edge. Does have a great chance to get to the lead down there, Terry. And if you look down here, that C-zone score is high in a field where the 1 and the 5 want to be on the lead. Everybody else middle back. Some versatility with the 3. So if the 1 and 5 try to dog it a little bit out of the gates, the 3 will keep the heat on them. And if they go too fast, we'll be patient and stay in front of the front runners. Terry, if you're looking for a horse with the best jockey trainer combination, it looks like you'll begin and end in the same place.
That's right. With the 3 horse, he's got the best trainer and jockey, and it's the best combination.
The 3 horse also has an 8-point last race speed figure edge. And according to the Godfather, Mr. Andy Beyer says anytime a horse is 3 points or better than the next closest competitor in their previous race, they merit your attention. 1, 3, 6, and 2, those are your top 4 total pace. Terry, who are your top 4 total picks?
Okay, I like the 3 Pearls and Heels. One is her last race at Parx Racing. She has the highest last speed rating, and she has switches to a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 5, my second choice, she drops a class today, switches to high percentage winning trainer, who wins 30% of the races in the first start with this trainer, and she switches to high percentage winning jockey. The 6 is Jezebel Jade, my third choice, finished third in her last race as a trainer, wins 18% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse, and she has a good jockey. And then I like Sue Ellen Miskin. The 1 is my long shot. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance. Her best start speed is fast among today's starters. And the rail post winning at a 22% clip. We're going to play the last pick for Miami Vice, 1, 3, 5, 6 with 1, 4, 6 with a 5, 6. Finish up with a 5, 6, 8, 9, a $48 cost.
I'm going to go with the 1 horse on the rail. Your long shot, my top pick. Top C-zone on the lead with a half-length early speed edge. Top total pace horse in there. Number 3, Pearls and Heels, does have that top last race speed figure. It is 8 points better than everybody else. Big win in the last time out. In Barry Meadows' book, was 1.5 lengths or 2 lengths. I don't remember off the top of my head. If the horse wins by that margin at all, the previous start, more than 15% of the time they win their next race. Number 5, Renee 6. You got Jamie Ness and Frankie Pennington. They used to work a lot more together, but when they do work together, they still win. This horse in the money, 10 out of 12 at the distance. That's the right distance for this horse. And then finally, Tempest Rising was a tough call for me over the 7 horse in here, but ranks higher in more categories. 1, 3, 5, 3, 4, 3, 5, 6, 2, 3, 6, 8, 9, $45. My pick 4. I'm going to do a $5 double, 1, 3 with the 4. And then a $5 pick 3, 1, 3 with the 4 and the 5 as I start to spend some of my dinero and foreshadow what's coming up next. When I pick the 1, watch out.
Yeah, and
Ross.
Yeah, and the Miami Vice guy, Don Johnson, he wants the 4 to win for his double. So
let's go number 4. And in race number 2 right now, the 1 horse down on the rail has the 1 and the 7 are battling it out in race number 2, which we had the 7 up on the front. He is on the front. The 1 horse is in that mix there too, so he's going to keep him to task. On the inside, looks like the 2 horse down on the rail with the 4 in a good stalking position right now. 7 horse with that speed in kind of falling off a little bit. The 1 horse ended up being the float on, was your favorite. We had it as the simulation favorite too. He's put his nose out to the front of the 7. Those 2 continue to battle on. The 7, the 4 horse at 2-1 is making up some ground. They ran 22, almost 23 seconds, so maybe a little on the quick side. Hopefully, closers continue to hold on for our good friend Don Johnson because the 4 horse is rallying wide to the outside. I think he's going to go by the 1 horse, and he's going to do so perhaps. They're both kind of out on their horses right now, but the 4 horse has dipped his nose in front of the 1, but they're battling on pretty hard. They continue to battle on. The 1's not giving up very easily. He's what do they call it? When they herd the horse, came out to kind of hurt him a little bit. It's going to come out to hurt him again. And it's going to go, unfortunately, 1, 4, 5, 2. 1, 4, 5, and 2 in race number 2. Let's see, how do we do it there? Do we have it? I'm sure we had them horses in there, no? 1, 4, 5, and 2. How about that?
Yeah.
Super effective. We used way too many horses in our pick 4 there, Terry.
That's right, we did.
Yeah, should have just went with the 1 and the 4. We would have been all right moving on.
Yeah.
I guess this is the case in point there, Mr. Private Ross. Terry and I both Unfortunately, picked the 1. We should have both picked the 4. All right, 3 races to go, Terry. That's race number 8, right?
That's right. We're going to race 8.
All right. So once again, before we go off to the rest of the card, Terry, tomorrow we're going to do Parx again for Terrific Terry. Tuesday, Wednesday for sure will be Delaware. I don't know what we'll do Thursday, but we'll pick something fun for certain. To make sure you don't miss any of that, Terry, what is the single best thing you can do? Because if you're not watching, you ain't winning. And if you want to win, how do you watch?
Well, you got to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Easy to do, doesn't cost anything. And go ahead and hit that bell because that'll notify you about 30 minutes before each program comes up. And then go down and copy the link and share it with everybody you know so that they can also have a chance to come and follow us and look at us. And then go to our social sites such as X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Give us a thumbs up and a like. Keep these comments coming as we like to see them. And also your bets. It helps with our algorithms.
You know what else helps boost our scores? And I just kind of found this out today. I don't know how you can do this, but if you leave a review, it boosts your scores as well. I know you can leave a review on our Facebook page. So that's Horse Race, the number 2 day. I'm not quite sure how you leave a review anywhere else, but maybe for the Horse Racing Today website. I don't know if you can leave a review somewhere for YouTube. I'm unfamiliar with that. I'll have to look into it. You can probably do it on Google. If you Google Horse Racing Radar TV, maybe something will pop up. I have no idea, to be honest with you. So I'm going to look into that. Looking into some other things too. I have off a couple of days on my other position coming up. So I'm going to be working on improving the quality of our show, improving a couple of other things as well, so that everything will be a bit more enjoyable for all involved. Hopefully you'll come along and tell your friends about us, because that's the easiest way to grow our audience is by word of mouth. By the word of your mouth, Terry, share with us the conditions for the final of the 3 races.
All right. It's a 1 mile and 70 yards, optional claiming race, $75,000 claiming price. If you elect to put your horse in there, like the number 1 horse, Right Wing Runner. And then the purse is $50,000 for 3-year-olds which have never won a race other than a maiden claiming starter or state bred, or which have never won 2 races, or a claiming price is $75,000.
Yeah, so if you wanted to buy it, as Terry pointed out, right here you would see if it's in for a claim. So you can buy Right Wing Runner with Terry's lunch money if you so choose. If you wanted to buy Yara's Quest, guess what? You're out of luck. And well, at $170, if you want to have the most luck on the main track there, well, the only track, they have a turf track there too. Early speed does well 35% of the time. The horse that leads early on leads late as well. Inside horses, so there you go. That Right Wing Runner, Terry, might have a great chance to go all the way around with Frankie Pennington in the irons. If you're looking for some early inside speed, Terry, in race number 8, look no farther than
the 3 horse. The 3 has the most speed, followed by the 1. So those 2 inside horses have the most speed.
Yes, we see the 4. Mr. Bogan is our simulation favorite. He's also a 5-point last race speed figure guy, has a 6-point late speed edge, Terry. But there's also something interesting in here. He's the only green horse.
He is, and the only horse that has equaled or exceeded the speed per number of 92 for this race. And then as far as today's race, he has the best number of doing it again, followed up by 2 or 3 others.
Yeah, but he and the 3 showed absolutely no improvement last time out. Along with that, Terry, looks like the 4 should get a good ride from its jockey.
Yeah, he should. And then the 3 is a good trainer, but the 4, I think, has got the best jockey trainer combination.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight fit in there for sure. You got the 3, the 4, and the 5. They want to be on the lead. We see the 1's probably going to get into that mix too as a PC type. So maybe a little left arrow action out of Right Wing Runner on the hot rail, who did show some better fractions early and in the opening quarter and the second quarter mile last time out. Only class dropper on the 1 as well. Everybody else ticking up a little bit in class. Terry, which horse in here? Well, plenty of them look like they're going to get trips today that give them a great chance to win.
It's right. All of them have over 50% except for 2. And the 3 shows the most, which is really nice. But the 1 is one of the lowest ones, along with the 4. So
Yeah, interesting, right? The 4 with that speed figure edge, but hey, today's race might not fit. It does have the most upside in the race there, Terry. Not the most downside, but he's kind of wild with that 4. So at his best, he can win easily against his crew. At his worst, well, maybe only the 6 horse could finish behind him. If you're looking at the best average race, that belongs clearly to the 3 horse, Terry. A lot of different ways you can go this way. Which way are you going?
I like the 4, Mr. Bogan. He likes the Parx racing. He's been in the money 63% of the races here and won 25% of the starts. He has the best start speed among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer jockey. Then I like the 1 right wing runner. Drops in class today. The rail post went in 20% clip. He has an early speed style that'll help his chances. So this shorter distance should help. And Lasix is added today. And then I like the 6 as my 3rd choice. Finished 2nd versus similar. In his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer. And this trainer wins 19% of the time when he ships a horse in to run. And then Ohio Joe, the 5 is my long shot, finished 3rd versus similar in his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer, and blinkers are added today. No additional bets for me as I'm saving it for the very next race.
Terry going to use up all of his hundo. He couldn't wait. Race 9, he can't wait to get there. I'm going to go with Mr. Bogan too. Top last race speed figure was 4 points, so it clears that Andrew Beyer hurdle. The only yes horse in the race, and well, it's the only one that's proven it can hit that speed figure. Top total pace horse, simulation favorite. So I'm afraid he's going to do like Tom says, low odds, 2nd place. Yara's Quest, the 3 horse, is next on my agenda. And I don't know what I just did there, but thankfully there's an undo button. That one is your pace setter. Bang. So it's probably going to be on the lead here today. Terry tops Z-Zone. It's only running in its 4th race, so perhaps more upside than the rest in here. Number 1, right wing runner. Kind of interesting that this horse has been running in stakes company. He's going to drop in to face the lightest company he's seen in a while, but still up in for a tag. Been in the money. Let's see. Much tougher and the only class dropper. I almost went to the wrong race right there. And then finally, Light Forever. Track dropper was a tough call for me over the 6 horse because the 6 horse Possum just beat Light Forever, but that was down at Gulfstream Park. Possum has run at Parx before. Light Forever has not. And Light Forever is working better at Parx since they both came up I-95. I'm going to do a $1 trifecta box. 1, 2, 3, 4. $16 double. 4 with the 5. Maybe that's Terry's best bet. I don't know. I don't want to screw him over if it is. $5 exacta key box. 4 over the 1, 2, 3. And then $10 to win on the 4. Before we go off to the last 2 races, Terry, just want to point something out real quick. The 6 horse in here was our top total pace, 2nd choice in there, Terry, right?
Yeah.
And in race number 2, the 2nd choice again was the 1 horse, Float On, who ended up being the favorite, was the simulation favorite in there as well. And if you look at that opening daily double for $2 with the 6 and the 1, you know how much that thing paid, Terry?
No, I have no idea.
$70.20.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, that's a nice one. All right, we're going to do Terry's best bet right now. That's going to be in race number 9. So maybe a chance for you to single up on your late double. I think for the 6th time today, Terry, we're going to run a race at this distance.
That's right. We're going to go at 6.5 furlongs. Optional claiming race, $50,000 claiming price, purse $42,000 for registered bred, Pennsylvania bred 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 Pennsylvania restricted races other than a maiden claiming starter or claiming price of $50,000.
So 6.5 furlongs does favor stalkers about 31% of the time. The horse that wins the race to the quarter-mile marker will also win the race to the finish line. Inside horses do better than outside horses, Terry. So speed again in race number 9 on the inside. If the bias returns, where you'll find that?
Well, you're going to find the 3 has the most speed, followed up by that 5. They're very close to each other. They could go head-to-head that quarter pole.
Indeed. And we see over here the 3 and the 5, along with the 6. So those 3 horses got the most early pace in there. The 6 horse, Terry, look at that. If it can be close early, it's got about a length and a half late speed advantage. So if that horse is remotely close, Young Squire coming out of that turn, Young Squire could run right on by him. Terry, Young Squire is also a part of a quartet that has hit par or a 93 speed figure already.
Oh, that's true. All of them but the 1 and the 3. have exceeded or hit the par speed number for this race. And then the 2 is been within 2 points. And then all but the 3 have a chance to do it today. And the 6 and the 5 show that they have the best chance to hit that par speed number.
Yeah, and also looks like in here, Terry, all of them have showed some improvement somewhere in their race last out. Down here in our race shape, everybody wants to be middle forward. So that could favor a horse with some late legs like the 6 in there, Terry. If you're looking for a horse that has a great chance to find a race today, well, the 6 horse might not have the best chance. 0. And you don't see many of those. And then grade out as your top total pace. So that's an interesting dilemma. It's not a dilemma as to which 2 have the best chance to get a good race today.
Yeah, well, the 3 and the 7 show the best chance, followed up by that 5.
Yes, the 5 has a top last race speed figure, 3 points better than everybody else. Kohler is your simulation odd favorite. Heck, the 2nd horse in the top total pace has been your winner for the first 2. Can it be the winner in race 9 and your best bet, Terry?
It sure is. The 5 is my best bet. He likes Parx racing. He's finished in the money 88% of the time, won 50% of the starts at today's distance. He's finished in the money 100% of the time, winning 33% of the starts. And then that 6 that you're talking about that I'm kind of afraid of, Young Squire, has won 2 races out of the last 3 starts, has the best start speed among today's starters, and has a high percentage winning trainer. Then the 2 Gun Collector is my 3rd choice, finished 3rd in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins, and switches to high percentage winning jockey. And then Notice of Action has won 3 out of the last 6 career starts at Parx Racing. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to bet $40 to win on number 5. I'm going to bet a $10 exacta box 5 and 6. I'm going to bet a $10 exacta 5 on top with the 2, 4, 6, 7. That's it.
Kohler's is the single at the end of my pick 3 and my double with the 4 in the previous start. So I hope, Terry, that I haven't put the mojo on you once again for the horse that did run the top last race speed figure. He hit 100 on the speed gun last time out. That was the first time out in more than like 6 months, which gives me some great pause, Terry, because one of the things I read somewhere, and I can't remember where, maybe it was in Barry Meadows' book, is when a horse is off for 5 months and comes back and runs a career best start, whole lot of times the next race out does have some regression, but his resume says race 2 should be better than race 1 off the bench. So a couple of competing data points. Number 6, Young Squire. This one's never been out of the money in 6 races at the distance. Biggest in-race edge of a 1.5 length late speed. Number 3, Uncle Dar. That one, Terry, is going to have an opportunity to be a lone E-horse. Fight for the lead with the top C-zone, maybe. And then number 4, Dear Steve. That horse is a yes horse that was better across the board with a little better early fractions last time out. No additional bets for me either. And then the last race of today, Terry, is race number 10. Before we do that, remember, free picks today over at Finger Lakes at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link to the description, link to the free picks in the description on YouTube. Kindly use that so they know where you came from. In about 5 minutes, we'll post our picks over here along with this great big error on the top that I will try to get rid of today or tomorrow. In there, you will have a race replay along with all of our comments. And you'll see that if you click on the link right there, there will be the race replay. And in the description on YouTube, we will timestamp every race so you can come back and watch and see why Terry likes the 5 horse in race number 9 as his best bet. Please hit the HRT gear button right there. 20% off today. Get yourself a Horse Racing Today t-shirt. Somewhere in the country, it has to be summertime. It sure as hell isn't in Chicago, where we're in the 40s overnight again. Have to turn the heat on, and by golly, it's almost June. Oh, a couple other quick things too. If you want to take a look at the the smart sheets yourself, there is a link to them in the description on YouTube as well. Sorry, I meant to mention that earlier. 1 race to go, Terry, for today. That's race number 10. Again, tomorrow will be at Parx. You see all of our social sites streaming below. Kindly follow us if you have not on X specifically and on YouTube, because we want to get to 10,000. We're the closest at both of those because they unlock some tools where we can actually make a buck or two and exponentially grow our audiences. Help grow our audience. Picking winners will usually make that happen, Terry. Hopefully we can do that to close the show today.
That's right. A mile and 16th claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse 21,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
Yeah, and if you get that third win, it's going to be tough to do it from the rail for Imaginize because they really struggle. Post positions 2 and 3, they struggle too, but they're not deal killers. 4 through 7 is the best place to be. 8 and out have been fair. Early speed does good with 32%, so a little under 1 out of 3 winning wire to wire. So Buffalo Girls on the outside with some speed, Terry. And it looks like this race, when the gates open, there'll be plenty vying for him with 1 having an edge.
Well, yeah, that 4 shows the most speed. It should get out of there and get that quarter pole first.
Yes, indeed. You got a lot of competitors for the speed there, and you can see here in the pace numbers, they're all pretty tightly mixed in there too. 5 of them, Terry, hitting par. 5 of them being close to par. So it looks like a lot of them could probably get par today.
That's right. Well, it looks like that. The 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 all have equaled or exceeded, and then the rest of the horses have come within 5 points of getting to that 79 speed rating. And then all but the 7 show a chance of doing it today with most of them pretty close, and the 6 showing the best percentage.
Yeah, if we just look at the simulation odds, look at this. I mean, you talk about tight. I mean, that's about the tightest dispersion I think I have seen. If you're looking for a big race in advantage, the only one with 1 is the 2 horse. That is Liberty Runner. That has a length and a half, about a little more than a 1 length. So maybe a length and a quarter length of late speed advantage over the rest of the field in here, Terry. The 2, the 7, 8, and 9 dropping in class. Everybody else holding firm. If you're going to try to look like a race that's wide open, you want to play the best jockey, you want to play the best trainer, who would you play?
It'd be the 6 be the best jockey, the 9 the best trainer, and the 9 being the best combination.
Yeah, it's indeed. If you're looking for horses that improve their fractions, that would be the 4. Hey, there's the 9 showing again up. Our race shape, a whole bunch want to be on the lead, Terry. Maybe that's not the best place to be. The 1 horse, Imaginize, the lone PC. Those Sesame Street horses can be very dangerous. 4 others that want to close. Which horse in here, Terry, in a wide open race is most likely to find today's pace to its liking?
Well, it appears the 2 is going to be very comfortable in this race, getting almost 93% score, and then followed up by that 7's got 75%. Several of these horses have either got close or went over the 50% barrier that we think is about reasonable.
Yeah, so we're looking at the early speed, the first call at the first quarter mile marker to see how this race is likely to shape up and compare it to their best performances. Are they going to be in a spot where they feel comfortable and engaged and want to run? This might be a race, Terry, where finding a horse with some good value is the best betting strategy. And where would you find the most value?
Well, take a look at that 2. That's a nice value from 9 to 2 to 12 to 1. And then the 5 has a value from 9 to 1 to 10 to 1, just a small one. And then that 10 shows a really nice one, 7 to 1 to 15 to 1.
Well, top total pace, ordinarily, that's where your winner's going to be at a little more than 7 out of 10 races. A good place to go fishing. Terry, did you fish in the top pace pond?
Well, I went with the 8 Bullet Breeze, finishing the money in 3 races out of the last 4 starts, winning one of those races, has a high percentage winning trainer jockey. Then I like the 5 Vin Santo. Likes Parx Racing, been the money 67% of the races, winning 17% of the starts, and he finished 4th in his last race after having trouble at the start. And then number 9, Hay River, is my 3rd choice. He has the best prime power number in here, 115.5, and the race, and he switches to a high percentage winning trainer. And the 6 of my 3rd choice, or long shot, drops in class today, switches to high percentage winning trainer, and can handle the distance. No money left, so I can't make any bets.
I'm going to start off with Dos de Oros. 2 golds, I guess. I don't know. And the reason being, when I was looking through the sheets in here for this race on the 6 horse, Dos de Oros, Michael Sanchez is on, or Mikel. You know you have to pay attention to that horse. But that race there, you're like, what the hell? But then you look here at $170. The horse got forward, did well with Michael Sanchez. Then you're looking down here for another route. Well, here's another horse race with a couple turns in it. Got forward with Michael Sanchez again. So my guess is that this horse prefers to run 2 turns with Michael Sanchez driving it. Number 8, Bullet Breeze. your top choice makes the second call for me, Terry, because he is the most consistent horse in the race. But the last race, not so good. So there's going to have to be a bounce back today. Number 2, Liberty Runner. That's that long shot, Terry, with the overlay. Actually, a simulation favorite in a wide open race. We see that here. Yeah, 9-2. I think we'll probably get 9-2 on that. In addition to being the simulation favorite, he's the top total pace horse in there. So we've seen those horses win more than their fair share of races so far, and also has the biggest in-race advantage. So I don't know if he'll go off at 12-1, but heck, if we get 6-1 and he wins, it'll be good for the pick 4. And then finally, Fast Payday, the 3-horse, just missed at this level last time out. Today going to get a little bit more distance, so that probably helps that horse's chances in here in what I feel is a wide open affair. Here are our picks for the first for the day so far. I think the first race was won, Terry, by the 6-horse, and then the 1-horse. Here's the way we see the rest of the card. The early pick 4 is already in the book, so our wagers don't matter there. The second pick 4 coming up in race 4 looks like this. I don't think we have any more picks. I think I start picking again in race number 7. Yes, indeed. Here is our next pick 4, Don Johnson, Miami Vice pick 4. Check that out. I have a little bit of money laying on Mr. Bogan. He better come through or he's going to be Mr. Busted. And then Terry's best bet in race number 9 with the 5-horse Kohlers. Again, we will timestamp every race so you can see our reasonings behind why we like those horses and why we're backing them with our Benny and the Bets budget. Terry, tomorrow again, we shall return for Parx. Again, Wednesday should be Delaware Park. Thursday is uncertain. Friday will be Foreign Friday with Tom. I have no idea where in the world we'll be, but Tom will let us know. You'll find out on all of our social sites. But before we go, Terry, do you have any wise words of wisdom?
Yeah, I wanted to point out that Don Johnson, actually, when you were talking about the Preakness, any comments, looks like he thinks the 1-horse made all the trouble in the Preakness. So there you go.
When I was watching it, it looked to me like I thought that the 1-horse jockey got just so pissed off with the journalism that he just slammed his horse into him, like cut it out, because he looked over and then the next thing you know, he's like, bam.
Oh, wow.
Because journalism was trying to force his way through that all the way through the turn. Yeah. That was the way I saw it, but maybe that's why there was some disagreement amongst the stewards. If I was a steward, I would have tossed him, just to be honest.
All right. Well, other than that, I just want to tell everybody have a good week. Keep yourself safe and give your loved ones a hug and a kiss, as you don't know what's going to happen in the future. Other than that, I'll see you tomorrow.
Well, we know what's going to happen in the future, Terry. We just predicted 10 races into the future at Parx. We'll find out if our crystal balls work at all. If not, well, we did our best. Not always perfect, but I can promise you always prepared with the smart sheets and our – between us, heck, we have to have close to 100 years of handicapping experience, Terry. How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it since I was like 8, so I'm 76. What is that? That's 68 years.
So I've been doing it at least for 32. So that does give us 100 years of handicapping experience. I've been doing it since I was probably 21. So I'm 58. So what is that? That's 37 years, something like that.
Long.
So we are over a hundo, folks. How about that? Terry in real years, me not there yet. All right, folks, no matter what you're doing for the rest of this day, we certainly hope you have God's grace, God's favor, and every single thing that you do until we meet again tomorrow for Parx for Terrific Terry Tuesday ends up in
the winner's circle.
Yes, make it a blessed Money Monday. We'll see you mañana.